Hello and good morning to all of you guys in this session, and myself Anshupriya, and welcome to all of you and welcome to Medicology channel. So let's start. This is the first chapter of class 12th, and this is basically reproduction. In the reproduction unit, we are going to study the first chapter, that is reproduction in organism. So let's start. Here we are seeing that lifespan. So first of all, what is this lifespan? Lifespan refers to period between birth to natural death, not accidental. It's a natural death. Clear? Next thing, this lifespan is independent of size of the organism. Clear? It is not dependent, means as it is not like as big as the organism, the big would be the size, nothing like this, right? We can see an example of this, that like your mango tree and people tree both are of like the same size, okay, but the mango tree having shorter lifespan compared to people tree, okay, and like a tortoise and an elephant, when we see the lifespan of these both, tortoise is a very small animal while elephant is a very big animal, and still we are seeing the lifespan of tortoise is much more than compared to elephant, right? So this proves that the size is independent of lifespan. Next thing is, what is the reproduction? Reproduction is basically a biological process where organisms give rise to young ones, that is offspring of its own kind. Clear? Means an animal give rise to an animal offspring, bird give rise to a bird offspring, like so on, right? Next thing, reproduction is required for continuity of a species from one generation to another, okay. Next thing, the factor that affect the reproduction is your habitat where that organism live, okay. Next thing, the internal physiology. Internal physiology means the internal structure, that what type of cell, what type of tissue division inside the body, what type of metabolic reactions takes place inside that organism body. So these are the internal physiology. Next is others, also environmental factors, like temperature. There's what type of temperature is falling there, it's a high temperature or low temperature or moderate temperature. So these things also affect the reproduction, okay. That's why variation takes place. We see the sexual, all the sexual organism, basically this process, this term affects most of the sexual reproduction organism, okay. Next is your basis of involvement of sex organ. On the basis of involvement of sex organ, the reproduction has classified into two types. First one is asexual and second one is sexual. So let's start to study this one by one. Here we are seeing the asexual reproduction, means a single parent here, and here with or without the involvement of gamete formation, right? So what is the gamete? Gamete is actually the unicellular cell, or you could say a haploid cell, which is produced by the sex organ, okay. Here may be gamete involved or may be gamete not involved in the process, but sex organ is not required here, okay, in the asexual reproduction. Next is clone. Usually we are actually very confused in differentiating the offspring and the offspring and the parent of unicellular organism, where asexual reproduction takes place, like amoeba. We are talking in amoeba the parent is the same like the offspring. Okay, that's why. And also a number of other organism, you could say plasmodium which is a malarial parasite, which is also where here there also the parent is the similar as the offspring, and so on. So clone term is used for that offspring which is morphologically and genetically similar. Okay, means morphologically means externally that are same, and genetically means internally uh, the arrangement of genes, the arrangement of chromosome would be similar. Okay, next thing, where this asexual reproduction takes place. This is most common in single cell, and when we talk about plants and animals where simple organization is taking place. Okay, not in a complex. Simple means plants, we are taking the thallophyta, which is commonly known as alga, where where this asexual reproduction takes place. And when we go through the animals porifera is also where this asexual reproduction is taking place. So this type of phylum, this division shows the simple organization. That's why asexual reproduction taking place here, the cellular level of organization basically. Okay, next, organism reproduced by cell division. How they reproduce by cell division means a cell gets divided, and this particular cell give rise to whole organism. Okay, now on that basis, on the basis of cell division, we have classified it this asexual into 5 types. Let's see. First one is your fission. In fission, we are seeing that binary means something, one thing is get divided and it form two thing, right? This one is binary fission. Multiple means one cell give rise to a number of organism. Okay, a number of organism gets formed from here. Okay, so this one is known as multiple fission. Next is your budding, means bud would formed. Bud is acts as an outgrowth of the outgrowth externally or internally the body, and then when under favorable condition this get detached from the body, and further it give rise to a full body of the organism. Next is spore formation. Spore formation where in a spore formation you can say that a single spore means gemule. We see the example of spore formation where spongilla is a common example of this spore formation. Zoospores is the reproductive structure where which is motile structure found in Chlamydia monas, and where spore formation takes place. Conidia is also reproductive structure of your penicillium. So these are organisms where spore formation takes place. Next one is fragmentation, means fragments means like this type of a structure. This is the actually structure of your spirogyra, and this spirogyra is a filament like organism which where each body part give rise to the whole organism. Okay, this whole organism is formed from this small cut part. Okay, that is fragmentation. Fifth one, actually there is some misprint in typing. This is written as plasmotomy. In this plasmostomy, we see that multinuclear protozoans are found. Okay, example is Opalina pylomixa. One by one, we will see. We are seeing whole the division. So let's start first. In binary fission, I have discussed example. You may note down the example of binary fission is your algae. Okay, in algae sorry, algae not its example. Its example would be, sorry, I'm so sorry guys. Example would be amoeba. You all have studied about this amoeba division in earlier classes. Amoeba, and next one is your paramecium, right? Note down, student, please note down these all example, because these are always asked in your examination. Next, in binary fission, I have discussed that first whole the division. When we go through the division, we see that first karyokinesis takes place and then cytokinesis. Karyokinesis means nucleus get divide first, okay, and then your cytoplasm would get divide, okay. Means karyokinesis is followed by cytokinesis. Okay, in this is in the both amoeba and paramecium, the same thing will follow. Here nucleus, this one is your nucleus and this is your cytoplasm, and this nucleus first gets enlarged, okay. This nucleus enlarged, and after a certain time we see that this type of a structure formed, and this each structure now give rise to a single individual daughter cell, okay. So this type of a structure, this type of division is seen in amoeba and paramecium, which is known as binary fission. Next division is your multiple division. Multiple division, common example of this multiple division is plasmodium, which is a malarial parasite. What we see here, that karyokinesis takes place and multiple nuclei is formed in this karyokinesis. Multiple nuclei formed, and upon certain favorable condition, this cytoplasm burst out and this whole nuclei get outside, and each nuclei is now covered with the cytoplasm, that is cytokinesis takes place here, and each nuclei give rise to a single individual organism. Clear? This type of fission is known as multiple fission, and this is seen in plasmodium. Before this we have studied binary fission, which is common example is amoeba and paramecium. Clear? Paramecium is also known by the name of sleeper animalcule, and it is a part of which class? So basically it is a part of protozoans. Next we will go through paramecium. I'm so sorry, budding. Next we are seeing the budding. Budding is, there are two types of budding I have classified. First one is exogenous, means outside the body. The outgrowth, that is your bud, is outside the body of the organism, and endogenous, that is the bud inside the body of the organism. Clear? So here in budding we see the example in this budding where exogenous budding takes place, that is your yeast. Yeast is also known by the name of Baker's yeast, okay. Next is yeast, and another one is hydra. Peacher-like plant. Peacher plant is also known by the name of hydra, commonly known. Next, yeast. When we will see the structure of yeast, we see that this type of a structure, something. This is a structure which is mentioned in your NCERT. This type of a structure, and this is your nucleus. I have said you, first nucleus would get divide and then cytokinesis would takes place. Means now the parent body is here and the daughter cell is this, okay. So this type of division takes place in yeast, and this is budding. Next, the same it would be in hydra. In case of hydra, the same division is going to take place. Only the structure is different. The structure is like this, and this one is your tentacles, and the outgrowth is outside, since outgrowth is outside the body, and this one is like this. Upon favorable condition, it gets actually mature. It gets mature, and as it gets matured, it now detached from the parent body, and the structure is like this. Okay, it gets detached, and this one is your daughter cell, daughter hydra. Clear? Next we go through the endogenous, that is inside the body. Bud that is from the outgrowth, that is inside the body. The example would be your gemule, that is the structure is something pot like structure is seen here, and a porous structure is outside its body. So basically this is taking place in spongilla, and this spongilla is known by the name of freshwater sponge. Clear? This spongilla is freshwater sponge, and that's why the body it's porous. And this, since this is example of porifera, in porifera the body is porous structure. Okay, then the gelatinous material is filled in this, and this spines like structure is inside this gelatinous material, and your gemule is filled in this structure. Okay, this one is your micropyle. Upon favorable condition, this gemule gets outside, and each gemule is give rise to a single individual, that is spongilla. Clear? Now another one is your spore formation. In spore formation, what we see, first one is your zoospore. The structure found is first is your zoospore, and second the structure found is your conidia. Okay, in this zoospore, that is the motile structure, and conidia is your non-motile structure. First of all, so this is the difference. This one is motile structure and this one is non-motile structure. Okay, this conidia is always found in chain, which is characteristic feature of this conidia. And next, since it is non-motile, here flagella is absent. Okay, flagella is absent. So let's see the example of where zoospores is taking place. The example is your Chlamydomonas. This one is the structure and this one is your flagella. Here we are seeing that the small structure inside the body is found, and each structure, each small zoospore having flagella. Then this get burst out, and each zoospore will come outside its body. Okay, so this is structure, and this one is motile in nature because flagella is present here. Next, this process is known as spore sporulation, and the structure is zoospore. Next thing, penicillium. Penicillium is also known penicillium, where the antibiotic is obtained, penicillin, from this penicillium. Its full name is Penicillium notatum. So let's see its structure. Its structure is something like this, tree like structure something, and this. Okay, penicillium is actually falls in which class? It's a fungi. Okay, so this one is your conidia, and as I have told you, it always found in chain. And from where this does this give rise to daughter cell? So it will fall from upper part. Okay, it will fall from upper part and will fall in the water. and float with the help of water current. How it gets fall? So by the help of wind it gets fall in the water, and the wind and the water current it make it float in the water. Okay. Next one is your fragmentation. In fragmentation, example of fragmentation is your Spirogyra. Okay. Spirogyra, I'm so sorry guys. Spirogyra filamentous alga. Spirogyra is known as the name of filamentous alga. Okay. Filamentous alga, and this filamentous alga is structure is like this, and each structure, each part will give rise to the whole Spirogyra once again, like the parent one. Okay. Another example of this fragmentation is your planaria. Planaria, the structure of planaria is something like this, and this each part give rise to complete organism. Okay. But this is a matter of question still, will the planaria reproduced by asexual reproduction or not, because this cut is not natural. This cut takes place by accidental, or suddenly it gets broken sometime. So by this method this planaria get reproduced, this planaria gets developed. Okay. Next one I have discussed plasmotomy. This plasmotomy is a multinucleate protozoans and multinucleate, since this protozoans this divide like this, and example of this is Opalina. Okay. In Opalina we see that the number of nucleus here, first it gets divide. Okay. Suppose here 20 nucleus. Okay. So 20 nuclei, in 20 nuclei 10 nuclei will be in this and 10 nuclei will be in this. This may be vary, suppose here 8 nuclei, here 12 nuclei, this may be vary, but this type of, basically I just want to explain that this type of division, asexual reproduction takes place in plasmotomy. Okay. And this further developed into the same number of nuclei as the parent one, that is the 20 nuclei. Okay. Here different thing is that the cytokinesis first followed, then nuclear division takes place. As you see that the nucleus gets the number of nucleus is present inside the cytoplasm. Here the cytoplasm gets divide first. Okay. And then the number of nuclei is get upon division, and it give rise to the same number of nuclei that is present in the parent cell. Okay. So let's end the session, and this is our complete. Further we are going to deal with left asexual reproduction, that is your reproductive structure of vegetative part in plants, in further session. So I hope guys, all of you enjoyed the video, and please like, share and subscribe my channel so that my video notification will reach at you within time. And thank you.